Okay, guys, thanks a lot for stopping by and checking out the show. Today we've got three really awesome games for you, and all of them are runouts. The first game is quite nice, the second game is okay, and the third game is actually a perfect game, all 15 balls without missing. So please stay tuned for that. But first, let's check out this first game. And we had a really nice break with a good spread here on the table. And so after scanning the solids and stripes, it looked like the stripes, I believe, yeah, the stripes looked really good there. And so we came off the wall with that leave, and then we basically put a little bit of low so it comes back perfect for this stripe down by the foot string. And what we want to do here is just hit it with a little bit of follow so we can get back over to this ball by the side pocket. And if we would have came off the rail a little bit more, we could have gone into the side pocket, but this actually worked out to our favor. We just wanted to tap this one in all the way to the left-hand corner, not too much because we didn't want to get buried behind those solids. So now we can split the solids here and go for that stripe by this side on the opposite side of the table. And unfortunately, we can't draw it back or stop it, so we're going to have to follow here and get around so we can get this last stripe into the side pocket. And it was actually a pretty tough cut because we didn't have much of an angle here, guys. But just tap that in, leave myself perfect for the 8-ball. And do a little pre-celebration here because it's such an easy shot, and plus by doing that it puts extra pressure on me and it makes me try that much more so I won't miss. Now it'd be nice if it was perfect here, but we had to jack the stick up over that 7 and we had a nice shot. So we're looking at a perfect game attempt here, guys, now. And the solids are spread out pretty good, except for if you see in the top right hand corner, there's 2 balls grouped together. And we need to figure out how to get the cue ball to break that up a little bit. So first we'll take care of that ball into the left corner, and now's our opportunity to break this up. So what we want to do is follow this 1 ball and come off the rail into those 2 balls. As you'll see the attempt here, and I just barely missed. Now, as you see, I actually had a shot on that 3 ball, but I would have had to put a lot of left to kind of throw the ball to the right. And I was thinking that solid might just be in the way a little bit and it might actually touch it, and so it would take away the shot. So I figured, well, we still have another opportunity, take that 5, stop the cue ball, and now with this touch of angle, we can actually put some low, maybe even a little bit of low right hand spin, but we don't want to deflect the cue ball too much. So I concentrated probably more on making the shot than putting a bunch of right, and almost broke that up. Now, all wasn't lost because there is a combo attempt here. But it looks easy on screen, but actually it was tough to get that first solid into that 3 ball, guys. And I actually overcut it, which was very disappointing because that was kind of in the bag for sure. Perfect game, lost. And so now, instead of doing what I normally would do to assure the leave on that last solid, I hit it harder than I would have liked, so I was kind of steaming. And I try and put a little bit of right hand because somebody was saying in a video I watched, you can put some right hand spin on those near 90-degree cuts and it will help. You know, I usually put left hand in those cases, but apparently if you put right, I think it's because it has something to do with the throw. You just have to account for deflection. So I think that's why I missed that shot. So when you're trying something new, it takes a few times to get it down perfect. If it's in a big game, maybe go with what you know, and then in practice you can work on these new things, guys. But anyways, that game is in the bag, and Now, the reason why I'm showing you the rack here is because I wanted you to see that this was a back-to-back run out here. And then, of course, after this game, we've got a really nice game for you. So please stay tuned for that. And it looks like I was just talking to somebody off screen here. Asked them to put the light on for me, and you can see that helped just a touch as the table brightened up a little bit there. And so, guys, check this break out. I've been taking a little bit off my break because I've been sore, and it's actually screwing me up because I'm scratching a lot more now. But usually with my power brakes, I like to put just a touch of top spin. I'm talking 2 millimeters above dead center, and maybe even 3 to 4. Not very much though, guys. I think the rule is half a Q-tip. And anyways, that'll keep you from scratching. But when I'm taking my normal brake and taking force off, it's screwing up everything I do. So that's something to think about. Pool is definitely not an easy game, guys, especially on these diamond tables with the way the pockets are cut. The balls roll really good on these tables, but you have to be so precise. If you put a little bit of spin on the cue ball by accident, you're going to miss your shots. You have to, basically calculate every single thing you do. Now, matter of fact, on a calculation here, we want to break up those balls in the middle of the table. And as you see, because I couldn't get a shot otherwise, and as you see, I missed. There's a ball blocking the side pocket, otherwise I could have got this combo. And in order to bank this combo bank, that 7's going to come off into hit that side ball, just like it did. You see that? And so it was such a bummer. That run out attempt is over. And plus I scratched, so it made it even worse. But that's okay. The next player comes up, and now his run out attempt. And so the stripes look good. And that brings up something that I wanted to point out. When you shoot really well and you're first up and you get 5 or 6 balls out of the way, the second player up actually has an advantage now. So if you think you're going to miss your shot, make sure you do a safety instead of taking the tough shot, because as you see, this player has a great run here. I'm saying it that way because I can't remember if it's player 1 or 2. If I made a ball, or no, this would be player 1 again. That's right, because he scratched on the break. So this run out, that's why I wasn't particularly happy about this run out, because it's called a type 3 run out, where it's either a dry break or a scratch on the break. And then player 2 missed his attempt. And so now this is player 1's first chance at doing a run out. And so it is technically a run out, but just not a pure one like I like, which is type 1 or 2. And as you see, that 8 ball goes down. We do a little mini celebration here. And because it's still nice to get a run out, even if it's the worst of the sorts of the 3. Now in here, guys, a lot of times people foul, so I make sure just to do a little stop shot and keep that Q-tip so that cue ball doesn't come back into the tip and foul. Now we have what you call a dealer's choice or a shooter's choice. I choose to take the footstring side and then come back up for the 1 ball. And as you see there, I didn't take anything off it on the cut, and I actually ran that cue ball a little further because I wanted to go into the right-hand corner, but I still have an easy bank here. And as you see, I rushed it and missed. That's the problem by considering a bank easy, guys, because you don't give it enough attention. So really try not to think of shots as easy. Treat them all with a little bit of respect, and you should make them. And so now the big game is coming up next. So we do a little, looks like a 3 jabs to a right, or a straight right, and we are on to the next game. So like I said, we're going to show you the rack just so you'll see that there's no cuts here, and there's 3 games in a row. That brings up another point. Some people have been asking if I do runouts all the time. It's like, yeah, I show you guys all my runouts, but I might have 7, 8, 9 games sometimes where I don't get a run out. And it usually gets 5 or 6 balls down, and then I make a mistake, or I get buried, or I have a tough bank because the other balls are in the way. Um, but this channel is about the runouts and showing you how to manipulate the cue ball to get around the table, and then also like cool combo banks and all kinds of stuff like that I like to do as well. But just for your guys' own knowledge, I'm not getting runouts every time. I wish I was. In this game, I've gotten 3 in a row. This is that perfect game here that we're attempting. And as you see, we had a nice break. I believe I had 2 stripes and 1 solid, or vice versa. We'll have to look back at that. But we take that first stripe there, guys. As you see, there's a conglomerate down by the foot string. We need to work on that. We need to get that out of the way, somehow break it up. And my thought was, if I can get to this stripe here on the wall, I can come back into the group like I did there. And that's important as well. You got to be able to break up those conglomerates so you can actually get a shot, or else you'll never get a run out, guys. Now here it was about pacing. You don't want to hit it too hard because then you're going to be straight up and down on the shot. You need some angle here for your cut. And I come back, I leave myself, I should have hit this harder, as you see, because then I could have came off that back rail and then forward to the 8. Instead, I left myself a long shot, but that's okay. With a little mini celebration, put some pressure on me, make sure I make this shot. It's all about fundamentals now. Hit that cue ball dead center in the middle, or even if it's on the rail just a little bit high, but the point is, on that line, you need to be straight in the cue ball, whether it's low or top or middle. And that way, when the cue hits the object ball, it doesn't throw the object ball. You see what I mean? So as we got our nice perfect run out there, now we're working on a perfect game. And so these balls were all spread out good. I just had one problem area, which is on the left side of the table now with that one ball. But there is a gap there and they're not touching. So I was able to sneak through there. And if this game didn't have a perfect air, being a great game, I would have probably taken that ball on the left-hand rail all the way down. But instead, I took the cuts. I like to take the easiest possible shots closest to the pockets if I'm working on a perfect game and don't make any mistakes. Now, guys, as you see, there's a little angle here. So when I do my low English shot, I'm going to be mostly dead center on the cue ball, but just low English to bring it back to the middle of the table, as you see there. Now, I might have put just a touch right, but with the deflection issues, I try and stay away from putting left or right English if they're close to the rail like that, because you can hit the bumper and then it'll bounce right back out or rattle. And so I was trying to avoid that there. Now, by putting a little touch of low there as well, the ball will come off the cue ball into the rail and then stay perpendicular off the rail. So as you see, it didn't quite bite like I needed it to, but at least it didn't scratch. And there's your perfect game, guys. So I was pretty happy, as you see. Runouts are nice, of course. Type 1 are the best. Type 2 are good. And the Type 3, of course, there's a lot to be desired there. But a perfect game, you can't beat a perfect game, especially a Type 1. Type 1s are when you make it on the break and run them out. Type 2 is when player 2 comes up from a dry break or a scratch on the break. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you tomorrow. And I really appreciate everybody watching the show.